Certainly, here this means if a NATO member feels bullied or threatened by the United States itself, they can now tap into a $95 billion collective fund to protect their interests against Washington. The very alliance the U.S. designed to bottle up the Soviet Union has been transformed into a hedge against American unpredictability. This is structural engineering at its most lethal, and as we explore here at the secret history of currencies, the blueprints were drawn with surgical precision. The American team arrived in Belgium with demands. Carney arrived with questions. He didn't ask for pledges of allegiance. Instead, he sat with ambassadors and whispered the one question every small nation has been terrified to voice. Can you truly bet your future on a partner that might change its mind every 4 years? If the U.S. decides to walk away or use your security as a bargaining chip, what is your plan B? He planted the seed of systemic doubt. He framed the fund not as a rebellion, but as an insurance policy. He told them that if America stays reliable, the money sits idle. But if America becomes the threat, the money ensures they aren't left in the cold. That logic was a siren song for the Baltics, for Romania, and for Belgium. When the most loyal foot soldiers of the American empire decide they need insurance against their commander, the empire is already over back in Washington. The reaction was pure chaos. When the National Security Advisor was told the final tally 23-5, his response was reportedly a string of profanities and a call to wake the Cabinet by 4:30 a.m., the president was being briefed on a reality he didn't seem to grasp. He asked what it meant, and the answer was chilling. NATO had just built a door that doesn't require an American key. A classified Pentagon assessment followed shortly after, using language that should haunt every strategist in D.C. It stated that the U.S. has lost its structural advantage and must now compete for influence. Superpowers don't compete for influence. They dictate the terms of the game. Once you are just another player at the table, you've already lost your seat at the head of it. Career. Diplomats are calling this the most catastrophic day for American prestige since the fall of Saigon. The fear isn't just about Europe. It's about the precedent. If the NATO dam can break, what stops Japan, South Korea, or Gulf partners from building their own insurance policies? By mid-morning in Brussels, Carney stood before the press, the picture of calm. He announced that Canada was immediately requesting $82 billion for Arctic defense and satellite tech requests. The U.S. had been stalling for months under the new rules that money will be approved in 15 days. The line has been jumped, and the rest of the world is now watching to see how fast they can get their own applications in. For nearly 80 years, the rule was simple. America leads and the world follows. That rule died today in a boring conference room. The Alternative Security Partnership Fund has proven that you do and need to defeat a superpower in a dogfight if you can simply make them irrelevant to the conversation. Now, Washington is facing three possible futures. First, they could try to manage the decline, quietly joining the Fund's discussions and accepting that they are now just one vote among 32. Second, they could spark a cold civil war by creating a rival fund, forcing allies to pick sides and fracturing the alliance into uselessness. Or third, the post-American NATO becomes reality, where by 2030, European defense is entirely self-sufficient and U.S. bases are slowly decommissioned as relic sites of a former era. The math is no longer in Washington's favor. 23 nations just looked at the leader of the free world and said, "We'll take it from here." They did it legally, they did it through the ledger, and they did it because they no longer believe the American word is gold. As we continue to track these shifts at the secret history of currencies, one thing is certain. The United States is now standing on the outside of a room. It used to own straining to hear what is being said behind a locked door. The world didn't end this morning, but the American century might have if this deep dive into the shifting gears of global power and finance gave you a new perspective. Your engagement is what keeps us digging. Give that like button a tap, subscribe to The Secret History of Currencies, and turn on notifications so you never miss the real story behind the headlines.